Stampin'.com. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. We are going to be making this cute Halloween card today. I've had some requests from some viewers to make some Halloween cards. So I came across a card similar to this on Pinterest, and I thought it was really cute, so I kind of did my take on it. And I made a envelope for it because this card is a little bit different size, so I made an envelope using my envelope punch board and lined it with some of the Motley Monsters Designer Series paper. And this is actually what I'm going to be focusing on my Wednesday tip series. So come back to see how I did this envelope liner later this week. So what we're going to be doing is making this card. I am using the Fall Fest stamp set as well as the Fun Fall bundle to create this. So here's the little ghost that goes with it. So this is in the holiday catalog, and this is you can get this as a bundle to save 15%. So I'm going to be using the framelit, and then to make the little face, I'm actually using one of the pumpkin faces. But I'm going to show you some tips on how I did this. The first card that I did, it's not, I learned some things that you don't want to do. So we're going to see if I can make those corrections the second time around and get a better result. But first things first, what you're going to do, I'm going to put this card off to the side. First things first, what you're going to do is you're going to be cutting a piece of paper that is going to be 5 1/8 by 7 1/4. Okay, so we've cut it 5 1/8 by 7 1/4, and now we are going to score it at 3 5/8. And 3 5/8 is going to be the tick mark right after the 1/2 inch mark. And so we're just going to score that. Okay. We put the trimmer off to the side and then just use our bone folder to score that, or to get a good crease. And now what we're going to do, so here's our note card right here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a black panel just 1/4 inch smaller. And that's where I'm going to be cutting out using the framelit for the ghost. All right, now this black panel is going to be 4 by 15/16 and 3 3/8. And don't get scared of these 15/16 3/8 measurements, because I'll show you where it is. And zoom in a little bit. Okay, so here on your trimmer, you've got these little tick marks, okay? So the small ones are the 16ths, then the next one is the 1/8, then we've got 1/4, 1/2, 16ths. So 15/16 is going to be that very last, that very last tick mark before you get to 5. Okay, and then we're also going to do 3/8, 3 3/8. So that's going to be 1/8, 1/4, 3/8. Okay, so it's the 1/8 tick mark before the 1/2. Okay, and I'll do a tip on this. I'll do a tip video on this as well. I need to write that down because I know it can get a little daunting and a little scary, because you don't want to, you hate cutting paper and not it being right. Okay, so it was 4 15/16 and then 3 3/8. So, and this is just a little bit smaller than the panel. Perfect. So you really can't, it just fits on there perfectly. All right, so let me put this away. Now, what I'm going to do, oh, here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this over to the Big Shop. I've got my magnetic platform, the cutting plate, and I'm just going to place this right here. And I'm going to take my ghost framelit, and I'm going to kind of position it up a little bit higher because I'm going to have, I need a place for the happy haunting sentiment down here. So this is going to kind of go in the top third of the card. And the great thing about the magnetic platform is I don't need to use any type of washi tape, post-it notes. The framelit is stuck right there. So I'm just kind of like looking, making sure that it's centered, kind of looking at where the arms are. It doesn't have to be perfect by any means, but okay, so that looks good. So let me run that over to my Big Shot real quick. Okay, so I'm back, and that is what it's gonna look like. And then I can use this for another card. And the magnetic, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time saying that word. The magnetic platform is really helpful when using the metal dies, the framelits. Okay, so what we're going to do next is I'm going to go ahead, get all this. I'm going to go ahead and heat emboss the Happy Haunting on here. I've made a few of these and I'm learning some proper ways to do this. Hopefully this is going to work. My other ones were fails. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to stick this on here. I'm going to kind of use my grid paper to make sure that this is lined up straight. I'm going to use Versamark ink. Versamark is what you want to use for this. It's a wet, sticky ink, so it's great for embossing. All right, make sure that you've got your sentiment going the right way, and I'm just going to stamp it right below the ghost. I don't think you'll be able to pick that up on camera because it's a clear wet ink, but it does say Happy Haunting. Let me get out my powder tool, and here's my white embossing powder, and I'm going to stick the card in here and just sprinkle embossing powder on there. Okay, and now we're going to heat emboss this. And the reason why I heat embossed the Happy Haunting first is because when I put the ghost behind here, I'm using vellum, and when I glued it, I was getting white embossing powder down here, and I couldn't use the paintbrush to brush it away because it was stuck to the glue. And when I heat embossed it, it showed and it bothered me. The other reason, I'm just making a mess out of this. The other reason is the vellum does get a little warped when you heat emboss it, and so that was just making this paper I think this is gonna work. So just do this first. Heat emboss, do your sentiment first. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna trim, I'm just gonna take some of this vellum. This is in our catalog, our annual catalog, and I'm just gonna cut a little small panel that I think I'll be able to glue behind. So let's just make sure that this is big enough. Yes, that's perfect. Okay, now the other thing is I'm not going to glue this yet. I'm going to emboss this first. Clean this off. Now, the first time that I did this, I used an ink that we do not carry. So then the second time I used it to emboss on this, I used StazOn, but StazOn did not heat emboss very well. So you could use VersaFine, the Versamark, excuse me. So we're going to try that. So let's put the ghost back up here so I can position, see where I want the face. Because the vellum is a slick paper, and so that's why I used the StazOn, because the StazOn isn't a slippery ink, and it just wasn't good for embossing. So I'm going to use VersaFine, and I'm going to go right there. All right. So now I'm going to use my black embossing powder and emboss this. Okay, that looks like really good coverage there. And then again, I forgot to use the embossing buddy, so I wouldn't, more than likely, I wouldn't have all this stray powder if I had remembered to do that. So just carefully brush it away. Okay, and now we're going to heat emboss the vellum. Okay, perfect. This worked much better than the StazOn. For all I know, StazOn's not meant to heat emboss. Obviously, it's not. All right, so now what we want to do is we just kind of want to position where we want the face to go. Okay, that looks good. So turn it over. And I'm going to be using the Tombow Mono Multi-Liquid Glue. I'm finding that the liquid glue works really good with the vellum. And so what you want to do is you just want to run a really thin line on the edge of the vellum. And then we're going to glue this to the back of the panel. Okay, and then we're just gonna try not to get glue on the black like I did there. All right, now we're just gonna hold this down so it gets a really good seal. The vellum does warp just a little bit, but if we hold this down and get a good seal, it shouldn't curl up. Oh, this looks much better. If y'all had seen the other one, it didn't look good at all. Ooh. Okay, and I see that I've got some vellum sticking out over here, so I'm just going to trim this off. Okay. This looks so much better. All right, so now we have got our card, and we're just going to pop it up with dimensionals. Now, I'm going to use a lot of dimensionals because I want to have, and this is a big panel, and with this, you want to support this. If you don't put enough dimensionals on there, it will cave in. So I'm going to be going crazy with dimensionals. And I'm going to get them really close around the ghost. And I'm going to be giving away this card. So if you comment below, I will pick a winner a week from Monday, and I will send you this card so that you can have. So comment below, tell me what you think about this. Let's see. Trust me, I know this looks crazy with all these dimensionals, but it's gonna look good. I did this without this many and I didn't like it. Okay, so I finished off that sheet. Let's get another one. There we go, make some more. Put one there. Dimensionals are inexpensive. Okay, all right, so let me just take all these off. Okay, so I've got all the backers, the backing paper off the dimensionals, and I'm going to center this and just press it down. And with all those dimensionals, I don't have any caving. That's perfect. So there you go. It's the 2 cards. Let me know what you think. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thank you for coming to view it today. If you have any questions about any of the products that I used today, it's in the holiday catalog. Feel free to come on over to my blog and comment below. Thanks, ladies. Have a great day. Bye.